Dr. Apuda, we have a few minutes till the meeting begins. I'm just doing a
call this special meeting of the Parks, Recreation, and Arts Commission to order. Secretary Clerk, would you please do roll call?
Certainly. Commissioner Parks.
Present.
Commissioner Barraza.
Present.
Thank you.
Yay!
Commissioner Singh.
Present.
Commissioner Cummings.
Present.
Commissioner Miller.
Present.
Commissioner Apuda.
Present.
Commissioner Vang will be absent today. Vice Chair Dolan.
Here.
Thank you. And Chair McCoy.
Present.
Excellent. We have a quorum.
Thank you. We will now begin the Pledge of Allegiance. Will everyone please stand? Ready? Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will start with the approval of the agenda. City Clerk, are there any changes to the agenda or any proposed changes to the agenda?
I have received no changes except to say that the minutes of September 19th were not attached to the agenda when it was sent to the council commissioners. We will bring those back for the next agenda for approval.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So move. This is Commissioner Oputa.
Thank you,
Real quick,
Dr.
Chair McCoy, it's an amended agenda if we're not approving the minutes.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve the amended agenda?
Yes. Still Commissioner Oputa.
I will
Thank you, Dr.
second
Acuda.
Commissioner Dolan.
Thank you, Vice Chair Dolan. City Clerk, can you please do roll call?
Certainly. For approval of the amended agenda, Commissioner Parks.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Barraza.
Yes.
Commissioner Singh.
Yes.
Commissioner Cummings.
Yes.
Commissioner Miller.
Yes.
Commissioner Apuda.
Yes.
Vice Chair Dolan.
Aye.
And Chair McCoy.
Yes.
Passes 8-0.
We will now move on to approval of minutes. Are there any?
Actually,
We're
Changes.
we're not doing the approval of the minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're not attached. My bad. This is a tricky one here. All right, we will now move on to subcommittee reports. This item is a discussion item for the commission and no public comments will be taken to this item. Does the Cultural Arts Plan Subcommittee have an update it would like to provide to the commission?
Thank you, Chair McCoy. This is Commissioner Parks, and I'll be providing the update tonight. So first, the public survey, the Cultural Arts Plan Survey, went live on September 22nd. And wanted to give a quick update on some additional outreach strategies that have been executed so far. So there have been 5 social media posts on Facebook and 6 posts on Instagram, both of which were in multiple languages. The Parks Commission Measure P website on the city's website has been updated. Emails have been sent to the parks distribution list and various community partners, so that's over 500 emails that have been distributed. Door-to-door canvassing has begun to promote the online survey. The survey's been posted to the Fresno Unified School District Peach Jar, which emails information out to families throughout the district. Flyers have been distributed to all Fresno County libraries within the city limits. Lock boxes with hard copies of the surveys are available at community centers in Central and South Fresno, and also at the Tower Theater. There will be others distributed by the end of this week. Flyers have been posted at various businesses throughout the city. There is currently advertising on all city fax buses in multiple languages, and that's 142 buses. And then there's been advertising with Valley Public Radio, CMAC, and Univision. And then coming up, there will be additional lock boxes at all community centers and also some various businesses within the city. Continued email distribution to the community service network, banners at 27 parks. The information will go out through Central Unified School District Peach Jar. There will be a senior center survey day. We have the Big Fresno Fair coming up, so there will be a booth with information there. Art Hop outreach on the 6th of October, so this Thursday evening, and also October 20th. There will be continued canvassing door-to-door and at various businesses, and outreach through Hmong Radio. And it's my understanding that the city staff are also looking into Punjabi radio as well. And our committee just wants to encourage all of our fellow commissioners and anyone in the public to please be sure to spread the word about the survey so we can get it out far and wide and get lots of responses. And that is it for now.
Thank you, Commissioner Parks. Does the Parks Master Plan Subcommittee?
I'm sorry, Vice Chair Dolan. Can I ask, are you still looking for more, the commission? or the subcommittee. Are you still looking for more places to post or host that survey? I guess I'm talking to Commissioner Parks.
Could I defer to city staff to answer
Sure.
that? Thank you.
Sure.
Commissioner Dolan, as long as it's within the means of the scope we have right now and no, surprise additional costs, then absolutely we would want to look for additional locations.
Okay. Aldi, I'll just contact you offline then. I think
Okay.
that we could probably host something like that.
Great, thank you.
Does the Parks Master Plan Subcommittee have an update it would like to provide to this commission? Commissioner Barraza, I do believe you're on the Parks Master Plan Subcommittee. Is there an update?
No, Madam Chair, I believe that there are events coming up where surveys pertaining to the master plan and some specific projects will be initiated pretty soon.
Thank you, Commissioner Barraza. Does the outreach?
Also,
Yes.
in addition, this is Commissioner Cummings, also on the same subcommittee. We were informed that we will be invited to a meeting next week as a subcommittee, so we should receive an update then.
Thank you, Commissioner Cummings. Does the outreach subcommittee have an update it would like to provide to this commission? We have no update at this time. So now we will move on to member reports and comments. As a reminder, this is a time for commission members to report anything they feel important for the public or commission to know, but it's not a time for a discussion. Commissioner Barraza, do you have any reports or comments?
No, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Dr. Aputo, do you have any reports or comments?
No, I do not. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Cummings, do you have any reports or comments?
I'll just remind everybody that Clean Air Day California is coming up on Wednesday, and we are planting some trees. Tree Fresno is planting some trees with Fresno State on the campus in the morning.
Hey, exciting. Vice Chair Dolan, do you have any reports or comments?
Not at this time, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Parks, do you have any reports or comments?
Just a quick report. On Saturday, October 15th, my organization, the San Joaquin River Parkway and Conservation Trust, will be hosting a volunteer graffiti removal day at Jensen River Ranch. And we're going to be working on the picnic shelter and kind of sprucing things up down there with some funding that we received earlier this year. So it's a great opportunity to come out and spend some time down by the river. And that will be Saturday, October 15th, starting at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Commissioner Parks. Commissioner Miller, do you have any reports or comments for this commission?
Nothing right now, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Singh, do you have any reports or comments for this commission?
Not at this time, thank you.
Thank you. We will now move on to city administration and park staff reports and comments. Does anyone from the administration have any reports or comments for the commission?
No report this evening, thank you.
Thank you, TJ. Does anyone from the park staff have any reports or comments for the commission?
Good evening, Chair McCoy, Eric Aguirre, Parks Director. Just wanted to note for the commission that council approved this past Thursday our park ranger job specifications, so that recruitment and those activities will begin shortly. Just wanted to announce that, as well as our first ever cricket league will begin later this month, as discussed with the commission and the community. So wanted just to note that for the commission and those tuning in that cricket league will begin later this month at Inspiration Park. Thank you.
Thank you. Aldi, I see you have your hand up. You have the floor.
Thank you, Chair McCoy. Aldi Ramirez, Parks Assistant Director. I just wanted to follow up on the Commission's comments about the Parks Master Plan amendment next steps. So we are working on scheduling a meeting for next week to visit essentially the changes to Chapter 1 of the Parks Master Plan. Commissioner Barraza, I'm not aware of a survey, so just wanted to kind of clear the record on here, but we will be meeting with the subcommittee to work through Chapter 1 changes, and then we will work through the chapters moving forward, similar to how we are with the cultural arts plan. So thank you.
Thank you, Aldi. We will now move on to unscheduled communication. Will any member of the public like to speak on any issue within the jurisdiction of this commission? You will have up to 3 minutes.
And at the moment, there are no hands in the chamber. And anyone that is joining us through Zoom, if you'd like to address the commission with unscheduled communication, please raise your digital hand. And now is your time to address the commission. And we have no hands on Zoom either.
Thank you, City Clerk. We will now move on to hearings. ID number 22-1447, hearing to receive public input on allocations related to Measure P, updates to the Parks Master Plan and Cultural Arts Plan, and annual Parks Department budget and capital improvement plans. Would any member of the public like to make a comment regarding this item? You will have up to 3 minutes for comment.
And there are no hands in the council chamber. Any member of the public joining us through Zoom, please raise your digital hand if you would like to provide input on allocations related to Measure P, updates to the Parks Master Plan and Cultural Arts Plans, or annual Parks Department budget or capital improvement plans. And we have no hands on Zoom.
Thank you. Does any member of the commission have any questions or comments regarding this item? Thank you. Before I adjourn the meeting, I just wanted to remind all the commissioners that we need to have like a conversation regarding the upcoming budget recommendations. I believe we are approaching that date pretty soon, and we haven't discussed that. So I would like to open the floor to any commissioner who would like to have a discussion about our budget recommendations. Or if you have any questions to ask of city staff, the time is now to ask those questions.
Chair McCoy, this is Commissioner Parks. I do have a quick question that I was thinking about this morning. I'm wondering if it would be, and I'd invite guidance from city staff, useful as we're looking at these recommendations, if we could have a capital improvement plan presentation, and specifically kind of what are, if you know this, like what are the park projects that are going to carry over into the next fiscal year, so we kind of have those in mind from the get-go as we're thinking about recommendations. Is that something that we could do before the November 21st meeting?
Aldi, I see your hand up. You have the floor.
Thank you. Great question, Commissioner Parks. So to answer your first question, Parks doesn't have a hard and fast capital improvement plan yet. That's something that's in the queue right now that we're working on building. And that will help essentially inform the next 3 to 5 years and to help with project costing, et cetera. So it's a direction that we're moving as a department, but we don't have anything to present to you in terms of here's the plan. However, what I can tell you is that we're working on a presentation to come to you on the 17th of October, where essentially we'll update you on kind of reminding you the work you did last year, because you put in a lot of work coming to, not only highest needs, but then prioritizing the parks that you recommended in the fiscal year 23 budget. We'll look at what was funded in the fiscal year 23 budget in terms of capital, and then we will let you know if projects were funded for a phase and if an additional phase needs to be funded in 24. For example, if we funded a project in 23 with just design, right? We only funded the design of the project because that's all we were going to complete. Then we're anticipating recommending funding for construction in the following year. So we are preparing something like that to come to you on the 17th, which I think meets what you're asking. However, keep in mind that there is also programming and, things that you could recommend beyond capital.
Awesome. Thanks for that update. And on the programming note, I have to say, I should have said this during my earlier reports. I've been following all of the exciting stuff that's coming out of the Parks Department on Facebook, and there are some great programs happening. So kudos on all of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Parks. Commissioner Barraza, you have your hand up. You have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. I think what might be useful for the commission or commissioners and also for the public, if we could take a look at the criteria that is being used to recommend the funding of projects under Measure P, and also an update on the surveys, the information that the public has prepared, the results, what is it that the public is asking? I know you do this from time to time, but as we're getting closer to making recommendations on the budget, it will be useful to get an update to look at that. And so I would just respectfully request that perhaps for our next coming meeting, if we could have a review about that criteria, and also a little bit about protocol and procedure for what if the commission wishes to add projects, what would be that process? Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Barraza. Aldi, I see you have your hand up again. You have the floor.
Yeah, let's handle those in segments, Commissioner Barraza. So your first question is, what criteria do we use to add parks projects? And that answer to that is we use the ordinance. So we use the FMC, and it has to fall within the ordinance requirements for each expenditure category to be able to add a project. So for example, expenditure category 1 is projects related to existing parks. And then if you read through that section, it lists criteria that a project must meet to be eligible for expenditure category 1 funding. So the answer to that is the ordinance. Do you feel like you need parks staff to present you with maybe a refresher of what those requirements are?
Yes, not just for us, for the public. I think there are folks that don't understand how this commission makes recommendations. And I think it would be good public information to let everybody know. And also, we forget there are so many things that we discussed that sometimes it's good to get a refresher. Thank you.
Absolutely, no problem. And we can include that in our presentation that I talked about. We'll just include, as we talk about FY24, we'll include in the slides those FMC requirements. In relation to your second question, I haven't received the final survey information from WRT, but once I receive that, I will put that in a format that's acceptable to provide to you all. That Big Parks All Measure P survey is concluded. And as you saw the website get updated, that information came down. All of the banners and the signs around the city with those QR codes for that Measure P survey have come down, so that is concluded. So once I receive that information, as soon as I do, I will get that into a format that I can send to you all. And then you had a third question, but I can't remember what it was.
I think I spoke about the results of the surveys and the tabulation. You tell us every now and then about how that's coming along, but I think it will be useful to know because we continue to get input from the public, and so that would be useful to get an update on that information. Yep. And by the way, I wanted to just say thank you to staff because I really like that survey on the cultural arts that you sent us that we can share with other people, and it allows people to go on the internet and complete the surveys. This relates to the cultural arts component, and that was very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Barraza. Commissioner Cummings, your hand is up. You have the floor.
Thank you. I've noticed on a number of our calls when we have input from the public that several have mentioned, and I'm aware of the condition of trees at Roding Park, which is one of our high needs parks. And I'd like to suggest that I'd like to know if there's a strategy for dealing with, in a meaningful way, sort of the removal of those large mature trees which have died. And they're not only unsightly, but they're actually causing a hazard and unsafe for the public. So I would like to, if it's possible, to request that parks include some suggestions in the way of funding on advancing the strategy for removal of these dead trees, because they're significant. And you're looking at, 80-foot tall or more trees that are looming, and they're actually dead in the ground. So I would encourage parks, if they would include that in the strategy for the long-term planning. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Cummings. Does any other commissioner have any other questions regarding the initial budget recommendations? All right. Well, the meeting is adjourned at 5:54. We get a lot of time back tonight. So enjoy your time with your family. Good evening to all, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.